Video games are filled with some crazy stuff. Some of it you end up finding pretty easy, some of it you have to solve, and some of it you just blow right past. Combine the last two and that's what I want to talk about. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, 10 unsettling mysteries you missed in video games. And number 10 is Red Dead Redemption 2's Missing Princess. A lot of weird stuff in the Red Dead series, and if you're playing the games normally, there's a good chance you'll miss a lot of it. But as weird details go, the entire Missing Princess story is maybe the most obscure. Outside the saloon in the Van Horn Trading Post, you'll find a faded poster that talks about a reward for finding a literal missing princess from Luxembourg. If you really want to go down the rabbit hole and find her, there's actually a lot of clues in the area. You can find what looks like her belonging at the local fence. There's at least one other guy you can meet nearby who is also looking for his disappearance as well. You'd think, with the game hiding so many details, it would be possible to find her, but look as long as you want, it's not going to happen. You're not able to collect that reward. In the PC version, you can actually find her model, though. It's clearly meant to be her, has the same birthmark on the face as the poster, and at some point she probably was in the game, but they just backed out for whatever reason. Maybe they decided it was just too much. And to be honest, all the clues leading to nothing give the whole story a bit of an uneasy edge. Like, we'll just never know what happened to her. Most of the side stuff in Red Dead 2 is intentionally weird, or, easier to dismiss as an Easter egg, or has some kind of resolution. So this fairly straightforward missing person case, having absolutely no ending, but a lot of little threads sprinkled around, make it much more unsettling. And number 9 is Fallout 4's Unmarked Torture Room. One of the best things about the Fallout games is their environmental storytelling. You can learn a lot about the world just from looking at it. Most of the time, it's pretty clear what your takeaway is supposed to be with these types of things. But this one random unmarked location leaves us more questions than answers. North of Vault 81, there's some train tracks. You can climb up this structure and find an unmarked hatch labeled Way Station. Sounds straightforward enough, right? The Commonwealth is filled with unmarked locations that they have nothing particularly memorable about them. Not this one, though. Inside this wooden table, various torture tools and a lot of blood. Oh yeah, and a car battery wired up to the body. There's no notes or any clues to explain what happened here or why. You just randomly stumble onto a hidden torture room. Like, Fallout already has a kind of creepy atmosphere. In a standard horror game, this room probably wouldn't stand out a whole lot. But Fallout, again, only kind of creepy. World is really big, and this room's so small and hidden away, it's like, well, what's the point? Is there some kind of serial killer out there we don't know about? Was someone tortured for information? Maybe this was meant to be part of a quest that was never finished, or maybe a dev just wanted to throw in a torture room for no reason. I don't know, and we'll probably never know. At number 8 is Call of Duty Black Ops 3, What Really Happened. In comparison to the previous 2 points that are small parts of big games, this mystery is a massive part of a relatively brief Call of Duty campaign, but it's so obscure that the clues can be pretty easy to miss. By Black Ops 3, we pretty much know what to expect from this sub-series, and for the most part it plays the hits. Bit more of a cyberpunk edge, ending gets trippy and bizarre, but the basic plot is relatively straightforward. If all you do is play the campaign mode normal, your takeaway is that it's a standard evil AI run-amok plot, with a mind-bending twist ending.
You're not Hendrix. You're not real. None of this is!
Play it again, though, and you'll start to notice some strange out-of-place details, how the training mission teases how all your squad mates eventually die.
Those sons of bitches got a damn hive mind. You try to process and control all that, your brain is toast.
Or the many Metal Gear Solid-like fourth wall breaks with certain characters, alluding to the fact that they're playing a role. There's clearly meant to be more going on with the plot. It's not just fan speculation, it's in the game. What really exposes the developer's intent is the text crawl that appears before every mission, though. It appears too fast to actually read, but some dedicated players manage to put together what each message says, which, when taken all together, completely changes what the plot is actually about. The prevailing theory with all this information is that your main guy actually either died or nearly died after the first mission of the game, and everything that follows is some kind of dying dream, perhaps. What complicates this is the cyberpunk elements like the neural implants called DMIs that every operative in the game has. It's not necessarily a dream.
D&I doesn't just help us communicate with each other. It allows us to interact with a variety of computer systems. including pretty much all the basic drone units.
It could be more like you're trapped in the Matrix. Possibly, of course. The thing about the text crawls is they're a little contradictory and vague, so they don't really paint a straightforward picture as to what's supposed to be happening. There's a few things people know for sure. The game presented the story in a linear way, but it's actually not. The first mission actually happened much later, and most of it is actually a suspiciously similar retelling of a previous mission done by a different character entirely. Many theories simply say that the AI villain at the center of the story, Corvus, is just made up as part of a dying dream, but I'm inclined to think it plays a more important role. But what exactly that is, I'm not completely sure. It's pretty rare to find a game where so much of the actual story is this hidden. It's so obscure and mysterious that, although a lot of people have a pretty good interpretation of what's supposed to happen, nobody really knows for sure. Maybe someday Treyarch will just come clean and tell everybody what the hell's going on, but until then, it's something. And number 7 is Skyrim, the mysterious letters. That was a big one, so let's go back to something a little less intense. In Skyrim, you periodically get letters that end with a friend. One is obviously meant to be Delphine, but a lot of others have less clear answers. Like when you kill a Dark Brotherhood member, you get a letter of thanks from a friend. The only person who could possibly know you killed a Dark Brotherhood member would be another member, but it's never made clear exactly who sends the letter. The most mysterious of these has to be the ones you get for using shouts. Sometimes, for whatever reason, you'll get a letter from someone pointing you towards a new word wall, which is a place of power that can unlock new shouts. It's never made explicit who these letters are from. They all just end in, you guessed it, a friend. So many questions here, guys. Who is the person who heard you shouting? And how do they know the location of the word walls, which are all, by the way, in dangerous crypts and dungeons? Is it an organization of people secretly helping you? Is it a stalker? Is it a Daedric prince? Who knows? The game never really tells you the identity of this mysterious benefactor. Knowing that just makes the letters kind of creepy in hindsight. Like, who is watching you, and why don't they reveal their identity? Like, it's probably just a gameplay mechanic to make it easier to unlock new shouts, but there's really no reason why these notes couldn't have just come from a named character or even an organization. Or maybe that's their name. Maybe you're getting it from like Arthur Friend or like Alfred Friend, a friend. I don't know. It's about as plausible as any other explanation. And number 6, in Control, the weird door symbols in the motel hallway. One of those games where every answer raises 2 more questions. Just about everything in Control is some level of unsettling and mysterious, but most of these mysteries are closely tied to the main plot, at least. You know, like what's the deal with Jesse and Dylan, or why Former was ejected from the board, or why the janitor is the way he is. And that's honestly just scratching the surface. So for this entry, let's focus on something smaller, maybe a little easier to miss, but nonetheless has huge implications. In Control, there's this place called the Ocean View Motel. It's a recurring element of the game. Every time you go through this place, you're going from one part of the oldest house to another, and while it might seem random, there does seem to be some kind of a logic to it. The thing that's gotten a lot of people's attention are these mysterious symbols on the doors. It's easy to dismiss them as just being random symbols, but each one actually has a specific meaning. Like they all have names associated with them in system files too, which doesn't necessarily mean anything, but it does give us something to go on. The most notable symbols are these: the doors, Vanguard, the Alan Wake, and this one, which is just called Control 2. The doors are interesting because of a thing Dylan says in the game where he talks about a Mr. Door. It's likely that he's talking about the character Martin Hatch from Quantum Break. I get it, Hatch door. Remedy loves their puns. And also implies that the door might be connected to the Quantum Break universe. The Vanguard symbol is an interesting one because it's actually in reference to their development branch working on the multiplayer experiences. Not a specific game, but more of a real-world Easter egg. The Alan Wake one, people already knew about for a few reasons. The swirl is closely associated with Alan Wake, and it's a symbol that appeared on a whiteboard in Quantum Break, and this is the door where you find a typewriter page in the Alan Wake DLC, so clearly it's meant to be connected there. These doors are meant to imply a shared universe, but what makes it unsettling is how it actually works. The Control 2 one could mean anything, but the black and white pyramids are super interesting. I don't want to linger too much here, but there's a lot of weird implied points of contact between Remedy games, and most of it's relatively benign. There's just something creepy about the motel and its obscure doors that lead to other dimensions, where things can somehow get inside, but you can never go through. Also, in all honesty, it's probably a way for them to say, oh yeah, the Remedy games have a shared universe, and that's how the games are going to be going forward. And number 5 is this secret room under the castle Leowin in Oblivion. Bethesda loves their torture rooms, don't they? Like hiding in places, just making it a little creepy. Hey, stuff's going on here you didn't think about. Not good stuff either. So, what stands out about this one, however, is that it's really closely tied to a major character and nothing really comes of it. The only time you'd ever even find this secret room is through the Thieves Guild quest, Adarji's Heirloom, and it's fairly easy to overlook because it has nothing to do with your objective. In the quest, you're tasked with stealing a ring from the Countess of Leowin, the mostly beloved ruler of the town, who seems to, from the outside, just be another generic ruler among many in Oblivion. But as you explore the castle dungeon, there's a secret path to her room, but you'll also come across this room, which a beggar in the jail says is a room specifically for torturing Argonians. So it's not just your regular everyday secret torture dungeon, it's also a racism one. Torture's not enough, it's gotta be racist torture, right? Yeah, that makes it real creepy. It does, actually. It's unsettling. There's chairs set up on her table, it's covered in blood. There's not any bodies in the room or anything, but there's enough going on here. If all you knew about the Countess was the mission where you crash your party, this is a kind of a shocking discovery. What makes it mysterious, though, is it's never brought up anywhere. You can't confront the Countess about it. There's no quest associated with it. It's just there. A place you might go through as part of a completely unrelated quest. It's not like that torture room for Fallout 4 where you have no idea what's supposed to be going on. It's clear that it belongs to the Countess and that she hates Argonians and will continue to, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, since we don't have any Argonians, I can allow it. The Countess won't allow visitors to Argonian prisoners. I'll be watching, though.
So it's a fascinating piece of environmental storytelling that all it does is tell you something about somebody and you can't do anything about it. Moving on to number 4, Pokemon X and Y, a note for help. More goofy than unsettling, but depending on your disposition, you may find it confusing at very least. In the Lumio station, there's this note that simply says, "I'm going to go for help. Wait in the usual place." And that's it. That's all that you get. Who needs help and why do they need it? Why is this note in some random place in the station? Who's it for? Nearby, you can find a kid who says something like, "It should be someplace right around here." But it doesn't really definitely mean he's talking about the note. He could easily be talking about something completely different. It's kind of hard to imagine somebody saying that about that kind of a note. The Pokemon series is no stranger to randomly inserting unsettling things in their games like ghosts, but they're usually pretty easy to explain. This is a total mystery. Is somebody being hunted? Like, it sounds serious, but there's just nothing going on, so it just remains a bizarre kind of unsettling detail. And number 3 is Deus Ex Mankind Divided, the body in the VersaLife Vault. One of the best missions in Mankind Divided is his bank heist, appropriately titled The Heist. The developers hire a quote-unquote consultant who's definitely not in the mafia, and they're like, So we've got this mission in our new game. It's about a bank heist, and we're trying to find like a really authentic title for it. And the guy's just like, why don't you call it The Heist? And they're like, oh, very, very good, very authentic. And that was single-handedly better than any SNL skit for at least 4 years. Anyways. The job's to steal some files from the VersaLife corporate vault, which sounds simple enough, right? But if you're thorough in exploring this place, you're going to find a room containing some frozen bodies in containers. Most of them, generic. I mean, look at this one. Nothing special about that frozen body. You think you could at least put some flair on your frozen bodies? That said, one of them is kind of shocking, but a very obscure secret. One of the bodies in the VersaLife vault is the main guy, Adam Jensen. The implications of this discovery are numerous. Is this a clone of Adam Jensen? Or are you a clone of Adam Jensen? It would go a long way in explaining how you're still around after the ending of Human Revolution, where it seemed pretty unlikely you would survive. The funny thing is that's really all we get. There's nothing else in the game to say one way or the other, so we don't really know which one's the real Jensen. It's a crazy human revelation. Either way, I'm sorry. But it's only made more obscure by how easy it is to miss. Maybe if they make another Deus Ex game, this mystery will get some kind of closure, but as of now, it's just kind of like, what? And number 2, in Bloodborne, what even is pale blood? Right at the start of Bloodborne, you find a message that says this: Seek pale blood to transcend the hunt, which sounds straightforward, right? Hunt down the 4 Lord souls, like in Dark Souls, right? That's the pale blood, right? As the game goes on, it obviously gets further and further away from the initial perceived premise, and it gets easy to forget about that message. Nobody ever explicitly says what pale blood is either. It's clearly something important, and it sounds ominous as hell, but what is it? Why will it let you transcend the hunt? Unlike every other mystery on this list, this one has been explained somewhat by the developer. Hayataki Miyazaki himself explains in the guidebook that pale blood is meant to reference the color of the sky after you reveal the true nature of the world, kind of a sickly purple, which sort of makes sense. He also says it could be interpreted as another name for the monster that comes from the moon, except the moon presence, the secret final boss of the game. Those are pretty wildly different things, though. Like, one of those things is not even kind of like the other one of those things, so it makes the whole thing a little more unsettling, actually. So is the pale blood an actual thing, or some kind of abstract concept? What do they mean by transcend the hunt? Are they talking about ascending to a new plane of existence, or just ending the dream? Does someone actually want you to get to the secret ending of the game, which, if you don't know, involves eating 3 pieces of Great One umbilical cords? Yes, seriously. It's been long enough. I think it's okay to say in a video, right? Yeah. You know, a game is weird and messed up when you're not really completely sure what the goal is? But that's Bloodborne for you. Everything about the lore is unsettling. There's something deeply wrong about everything, and nothing ever adds up in a way that makes perfect, neat, tidy sense. The best way to describe it is like a bad dream where there's enough logic where you can make enough sense of things, but it's like a jigsaw puzzle where the pieces don't quite match up. Almost like they're laughing at you for even trying to make sense of it. Everything that has to do with pale blood is exactly that. Sounds important, has a bunch of creepy imagery and lore attached to it, but yeah, what? I don't understand what the hell Miyazaki's saying there. Honestly, it makes less sense, him saying those two completely contradictory things. And finally, at number 1, Animal Crossing New Horizons, the Night Clowns. When you say the words, the Night Clowns, you're like, what? In Animal? Like, that sounds horrifying. In Animal Crossing. And there's actually been a lot said about the secret horrors of the Animal Crossing universe. But here's where the true terror starts. Occasionally, under certain circumstances, when a new villager moves into your town and replaces somebody, they'll tell you that the villager who left was thinking of moving away anyway because of the Night Clowns. Oh, all right. They just say it like the most normal thing in the world. I'm sorry, though. You said night clowns. Day clowns are plenty enough to deal with, but apparently the world has clowns that are exclusive to the after hours. No wonder everybody wants to leave my damn village. I want to leave my village now. I don't even want to know about the nocturnal bozos. And that's all you get on it. It's never brought up again. You never actually see any actual night clowns, other than the one in the corner of your eye as you're trying to sleep at night because now the phrase night clowns is in your head. Yeah, I know, it's just a game trying to be funny. And it's not supposed to be taken seriously, but in all seriousness, it's such a bizarre and specific visual that it's kind of hard not to dwell on, you know? And I'm sure it freaks plenty of people out. As far as mysteries go, it's not the most in-depth, but if you're afraid of clowns, I would definitely not play Animal Crossing before bed because the phrase night clown is going to be fresh in your mind. And that's all for today. Leave us a comment, let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so click subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications, and as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at Falcon the Hero. We'll see you next time, right here on gameranx.